So wait.
Yep,
There we go.
Hello, my name is Patrick Bergen,
And I'm Matt.
and today we're going to talk about Zebulon Pike.
What a dick.
Zebulon Pike. He was known as the Citizen Explorer. Born in 1779.
You finally looked
He
that
was
up?
born in Virginia. He was born to a father who was a general in the Revolutionary War.
What was he doing
The
there?
Continental Army.
The Continental Army. What does that mean?
The Continental Army.
Whose army is
That's
that?
George Washington's army.
Oh, what a good guy that
Oh
guy
yeah,
was.
he was a guy who was running around behind George Washington doing all the stuff behind the scenes.
What was he doing there?
He was just like, "Hey, you guys, do your shit. Just like run around, just do your shit."
That's very informative.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, his father was in the Continental Army, excuse me, and when he grew up,
I'm sorry.
Zebulon Pike,
Zebulon Pike, everybody.
he was given the same role as his father for the wars, but
What?
there was a caveat. He had a very, very, very admirable man who had brought him up sort of as his predecessor,
Who's that?
General Wilkinson.
General Wilkinson, you say?
General Wilkinson. He was the guy who brought him up.
Who's that?
General Wilkinson
George.
was, unbeknownst to Zebulon Pike, actually a Spanish spy.
Oh.
Yeah, but he was his favorite guy. He liked him a lot. He generally thought of him as one of the most interesting generals,
Get out
the
of town.
best statisticians.
No way.
But he had no idea that he was kind of a spy at
Oh
first.
my god.
Okay, so Zebulon Pike. He's a man who is tasked with, after given the job by Thomas Jefferson, to scope out some of the Louisiana Purchase.
Amen. That purchase.
Now, I mean, everyone knows who the famous guys are, right? There's Lewis
There's Lewis and there's
and
Clark.
Clark. Boom. Those are the
I hear
guys.
this. I have
Okay.
posters on their wall.
But-
my wall.
The next guy,
Who's that?
Zebulon Pike.
Zebulon Pike, everybody.
Zebulon Pike. Zebulon Pike, unfortunately,
What happened?
was not the smartest of guys.
Oh no! You don't tell me that, man.
So he was self-taught
Self-taught in what way?
in every way.
Every
He
way,
he
every way,
learned
everybody.
3 languages by himself, which you might think makes him smart, but I kind of think just makes him a dick, honestly. Here's what he learned. He learned English, duh. He learned German. He learned like a bunch of different shitty languages that had nothing to do with what was actually happening at the time. French. Nobody cared.
French, everybody.
So, Zebulon Pike is tasked with exploring the Grand
Canyon.
Peaks.
I was so close.
So close. And the Arkansas River, which was at that time called the Red River.
That's a good river.
He wants to trace the Mississippi River back to its final point.
Maybe Mississippi.
Yeah.
Find out next episode.
No, don't find out next episode. It's right now. So he starts. He's going. He is troops, and all of his men and
Who
his
gave this man
explorers.
troops?
There were quite a few troops.
This guy sounds like a real dick.
Get on with it.
So they're trying to find where the source of this river is.
I hear
They
you.
trace where they think the source is.
Mhm.
It's a lake. Turns out that is not the source of the river whatsoever.
lake?
So they travel. They continue to travel. He finally finds the Arkansas River.
That's great.
It's in Colorado. He's on the eastern plains of Colorado. That's where this gets local. So Zebulon Pike continues to trace the Arkansas River,
Where's
and he sees a majestic mountain in the distance.
what is that mountain?
That mountain,
Can I hear the mountain?
that mountain was already named, unfortunately.
Oh, what a
See, more explorers had already named it, but at that time,
Mountain
he walked up to the pike and he said, "This will be the Grand Peak," and I named this the Grand Peak. It's now known as Pikes Peak because
that's
he was the
pretty
one who named it that peak. Unfortunately, it was already named. Okay, so he sees this peak in the distance.
That's a great.
So
It
you know what
really
he
is.
decides to do?
What
He
do you
says, "This is the peak that we will climb." So day one, they trek. They decide, let's try to see what will happen.
Let's track this shit.
So he starts walking, and
Oh.
everyone in his whole battalion starts walking for the whole day. They get to the top of a crest, and you know what they realize? That was just a hill.
Oh.
Okay, So the next day, they see
I'm
a
gonna
bigger.
stop you right there. That was very disappointing. Anyone else? Thank you.
So the next day, they climb. They lug the horses and the ammunition and the people and the cartographers who are also there for some reason. They lug them hours and hours. They get to the top of a crest. You know what it is?
It's
another fucking hill. It's a foothill.
It's a hill. Guys.
They realize they haven't
It's a
even
hill.
begun to climb the mountain.
Have they looked up yet?
Yes.
Why haven't they looked up enough?
Because Zebulon Pike is not the smartest person. He doesn't realize how actually long this is going to take. So, day
Very
3, same thing. Day 4, they get to the top of what is called Mount Rosa.
Ooh, good road.
Colorado
I've been
Springs,
there.
Colorado.
I've been there.
Mount Rosa.
Good place.
Do you know what that is? It is not Pikes Peak.
It's not Pikes Peak.
When they get to the top of Mount Rosa, the generals beg Zebulon, hey, we really need you to, just fucking calm down. We're not going to make it to the top of this mountain. This is not what we're here for. What are we even doing right now?
I couldn't tell you.
And Zebulon finally gives in. He says,
What does he say?
okay, he says, all right, that seems like a lot of journey. You know what I mean? What are we going to actually do?
Have you seen Pikes Peak?
Yeah, it's a big mountain. But he's just we're just going to back off. Okay, so he takes his men.
What does he do with
They're
it?
traveling down the Arkansas River.
They're
They're traveling down the Arkansas River, and Zebulon decides that because their mission is to scope out the Red River, which is the Arkansas River, they're also going to create a search lookout on the Spanish down in the San Juan Valley.
Then dang Spanish.
Yep.
What are they doing there?
So they're trying to figure out what is going on. They're trying to figure out the source of the Red River. It is literally the middle of December, by the way, just in case you were wondering.
Oh, you mean
There are
ski
3 feet
season.
drifts in the snow that
There's-
Zebulon is forcing his men to trudge through.
I hear
At
that.
one point, he is walking through what is now the Royal Gorge.
I've been there. It's
The
a good
Royal
time.
Gorge. It's a great time.
Visit
He's walking
Canyon
through
City,
the
everybody.
Royal Gorge.
It's a tourist trap.
It's a great tourist trap.
He is walking through the Royal Gorge, and he
Best.
sees
What does he see?
a little hill that he thinks might be the end. So he sends out
Is
a couple
it Mount
men.
Royal Gorge?
No, it is
Oh,
not.
I found Mount Royal Gorge.
So he sends out a search party.
Search
This
party.
search party is destined, he says, to
He
find
says.
the very, very beginning of the Red River. His men go out and they come back and they say, it's probably the beginning of the Red River. It's not a big deal. It's probably the beginning of it. Little do they know that's pretty far away. But Zebulon takes them at their word.
I'm going to cut you off
Yeah.
and tell you my first thought, where does the Arkansas River start? Arkansas.
Wrong. Anyway, so he decides, okay, that's the end of the Red River. We found it. So they decide to go down a little bit further south in the wintry snow and set up camp for the winter. They're going to start creating a huge
Taco.
No, they're going to they're going to start creating a fort. They start building a fort.
What's the name of the fort?
I don't know.
What are you
Little did he know,
Oh,
his old friend, General Wilkinson,
Oh, good old General.
good old spy douchey. He decides, he knows where he is. He decides, you know what? We're going to stop them in their tracks because I know where he's going.
Where's he going?
He's going to the fort. He's trying to build a fort. So he
fort.
decides, we're going to send out some men. They send out about 6,000 men to go capture this fort of 400 dudes. Zebulon sees the men surround his camp.
Naturally.
He's just like, I'm out, guys. I'm out. That's it. I'm done. So they start taking off
Where are they
to go to Santa Fe.
Santa Fe,
They're back in
Mexico.
Spanish territory. Little did Zebulon Pike know, he was actually in Spanish territory the whole time.
Colorado.
No, Spanish territory. This is what was,
Spanish territory.
yeah,
Yeah, Colorado.
parts of Colorado.
Okay.
Parts of it we just bought. America.
Communism, buddy.
And
Take a history
So-
class.
so these men are treated as guests. They're treated as civilians, not as a military-led group, which they actually were. The Spanish take them in as guests.
Oh, fools.
Yeah,
fools.
they're silly. They take them in as guests, and
what happens next?
they decide to let him go.
What did they do that for?
So they're back in Santa Fe, New
Why
Mexico.
would you ever go back to Santa Fe?
They treat them as guests, and eventually they let them go. So Zebulon decides we're gonna find our way back home eventually. They actually get lost.
Huh?
Yeah, they go north to Colorado Territory. They find their way back in that fort.
Okay.
Okay, do you know what happens next?
I'm gonna guess
They get captured again.
They get captured, everybody.
They get captured again because they refuse to leave. This time the Spanish say, okay, like home. You need to go
home?
east.
Oh,
But instead they go north
Evil World.
towards Pikes Peak and set up camp again towards Pikes Peak.
It's a good place.
Now, at this point you're thinking, what the fuck is Zebulon Pike doing? Does he actually know where he's going?
No.
The answer to this is actually no. He had no idea where he was going. He could not understand.
A map?
No, he couldn't understand where he was going.
A map.
So they can't figure it out. They eventually escape into the east, and Zebulon Pike comes back. They're doing another search party. They're looking for ways to get more information.
Damn it, Zebulon.
So they're trying to find the beginning of the Red River. Eventually, he gets captured again. The Spanish tell him, actually, you're not that close to the Red River,
This guy's really.
and you're an idiot.
Can I just tell you, this guy's really bad at
He's not the
exploring.
best.
I mean, come on.
Not the best explorer. Citizen explorer. Okay, so anyway, he finds this group of tribes.
Who does he find?
It's a group of tribes.
A group of tribes.
There are multiple tribes. They're telling him that it is too dangerous to go as far west as he wants to go.
Why?
Because it's snowy and it's terrible. Like literally the conditions are so bad.
Why would you?
So Zebulon Pike, being the very well-traveled world explorer that he is,
Dumbass.
he brings them an American flag.
Dumbass.
And he expects that American flag is going to bring him some goodwill.
Hey, some fucking rangoons up in here.
These Indians bring with them a Spanish flag, only saying, "Hey, these guys paid a little bit better, so you really shouldn't go by." In the end, they let them go. They let them try to find their own way, and all but 2 men, including Zebulon, die.
Of course, Zebulon. Oh,
Zebulon survives it.
of course he did.
So
Fuck that guy.
Zebulon Pike is a citizen explorer.
He
He was one of the only people who some have said he was an everyday man. He could do anything. Well, I'm here to tell you those stories are wrong. He could not do it.
Guys, every time he says Zebulon Pike, take a drink. Rewind the video and watch it and take a drink every time.
I'm gonna tell you, Zebulon Pike was a dick, but hey, that's one of the highest elevations in the goddamn United States of America. I'll drink to that.
Zebulon Pike.
Zebulon Pike, everybody.
Citizen explorer.
Citizen explorer, American hero? Maybe.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Give a thumbs up for the festive fireplace.